Hi, my name is Ryan Fitzsimmons. We're at the Summer NAMM show here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm with Bourgeois Guitars. What we do at Bourgeois is we do our best to build the finest guitars, vintage quality, vintage tone. We're inspired by the past and we want to bring that into the future, so that's really what we do. So our guitars, starting from the bottom going all the way up to the top of our line, are all inspired by those things. A few things that we do that really kind of are at the soul of our company is, in getting us to that vintage tone, is we were some of the first people to do torrefied wood and to introduce torrefied wood into the whole discussion. Now it's everywhere. We really feel strongly about it. It really gives you a fast, dry response and very, very vintage tone that is really hard to get anywhere else. And so we do offer that even from the one that you're shooting here. That's actually age tone Sitka. It's torrefied Sitka. We offer that right at the start. That's included in our standard price if you'd like it. And also Adirondack is included in our standard price if you like it. That's a big part of what we believe in is the integrity of those woods and what they do for our tone. We build guitars that we think are going to be awesome and cool. And, we're inspired by the stuff that came before us, and we're always looking at that and being like, what can we do? What can we do to make that kind of our own, to make that different, but still pay homage to the tradition that's led us here, and that's really the kind of the soul of how we build something. Like with this particular guitar, this is our new Advanced Slope D, and in the last year we introduced a series called the Standard Series, which was inspired by the pre-war guitars that came out of the Midwest, and those are guitars that are just classic. This particular guitar is a version of that. It's a take on a long scale rosewood slope shoulder dreadnought, and this is we styled it so it would have a foot in the past, a foot in the history, and a foot in our own history. The inlays, kind of owe a homage to where it came from, but they're also they owe a homage to what we've been doing too. Dana's been doing many inlays like that. That's really what got Dana going. It's what those old guitars, working on all those old guitars, they're always at the soul of it. So this is a great guitar, long scale, Brazilian rosewood. Dana Bourgeois himself shoots all the bursts. He does the bursts by hand. So much of what we do is done by hand, small shop, just a few guys. The production shop is really limited to about 12 to 14 guys. And Dana starts out with every guitar. He's the last guy to touch a guitar before it goes in the case. He's intimately involved in what we do, and I'm really proud to be able to work with a guy like him.
Do you work through some custom orders?
Oh yeah, we do custom orders for sure. In fact, I have one right here. In the last year, we had Natalie Maines from the Dixie Chicks had requested a fleet of white guitars for their tour, and Dana went out and wasn't going to just paint a guitar white. His thing was to try to get a guitar that had a little bit more going on than that, and he was inspired by the Mary Kay finishes of the classic electric guitars, and so that's how we ended up with this model, which we call our White Rabbit, and it's a maple back and sides, and it's an Adirondack top on our LDBO model, and with that, we also use our presentation fretboard, which you can see right here. That's going to be ebony fretboard with mother of pearl inlays and then abalone inlaid over that. This particular one was custom because of this headstock. That headstock is a scrimshaw that was hand done by an artist in the Northwest. And the customer loved our white guitars and wanted a white whale motif because he loved Moby Dick, but he also wanted to pay tribute to his late wife. So he had the scrimshaw artist actually put her nickname in the boat. That's the front boat up there in front of the whale. And it was so cool that we decided we wanted to bring it to NAMM and show it to everybody. So this is going to leave right from here and go straight to him. And he's excited, we're excited. It was a really cool project to work together to get that scrimshaw going.
And now we're going to talk to another one of your colleagues about the tones.
Yeah, absolutely. James Cook was he's great. He was the wood guy for years, and now he's here to talk to you about that. So let me throw it over to James.
Thanks, Ryan. My name is James. I'm the sales manager at Bourgeois Guitars, and as you know, we're here at the NAMM show, and one of the most important parts of my job is helping people find the right wood combinations for their particular guitar. I'm very fortunate to work with and have trained with woodmaster Dana Bourgeois. And if you have a second, I'd love to tell you a little bit about some of these tone woods we've got here. As Ryan mentioned, we've been doing a lot with the torrefied treated soundboards. It's a process that kind of pre-ages the soundboard, and it gives it a much more a vintage tone. And for a lot of people, an Adirondack spruce top is kind of the holy grail of soundboards. And what this does is it makes the soundboard, it eliminates a lot of the break-in period of the guitar. And it makes that old sound of Adirondack spruce much more accessible to the average player right out of the box. So that has been a real wonderful addition to this overall sound and voice of our guitars. We like to pair that with classic wood combinations. Often we use Brazilian rosewood and Indian rosewood, as well as mahoganies, to really simulate that vintage tone in a modern guitar. One of the great things about working with Dana is his experience with woods is such that he knows how to pick the right piece of wood for the right guitar. And so when he starts to build an instrument, he really goes right to the source and says, this soundboard will go with this back and sides to achieve the goal he's looking for. My role at Bourgeois is to work with the customers, the players, and the dealers to kind of, find out what it is exactly they're looking for in their guitar. Some players prefer to have a cutaway on their guitar for easier access. And I can help them understand like how that's going to affect the playability of the guitar, as well as what might change in the sound of the guitar. Dana's very experienced at judging tone woods at every different stage of the building process, from a raw piece of wood right up to a finished and braced plate. One of the things that makes our guitars really consistent is we use Adirondack spruce for every brace in every guitar. And sometimes we use the torrefied, age thermo-cured braces in the guitars, which makes the soundboard very, very light and very, very responsive. But by using the Adirondack spruce on all guitars, Dana's kind of developed his own system for evaluating a top and a back for that individual guitar. Again, the pieces of wood travel through his production system all at the same time. They stay together through production, and when he does the actual hand voicing of each soundboard, he simultaneously is doing the hand voicing of each back, and they're kind of designed to work as a complementary pair. Is really one of the best ways to get somewhat of a signature sound across many body styles, from a very small guitar, very playable, a couch buddy as we like to say, to some of our larger dreadnoughts and jumbos. They all have a very consistent Dana Bourgeois sound. So again, one of the funnest parts of what I get to do is taking the playability and the tonal desires of the end player or a dealership, and kind of translating that into what woods are going to be working best for them, for the sound that they're going to get. And then from there, Dana, he is an absolute master. He can pick things out of a piece of wood that other people would never notice, and he knows how to choose a piece of wood for its various different properties. Meaning, what soundboard is good for this particular guitar may not be good for this particular guitar for a variety of reasons. Unfortunately, we don't have time to get into all that right now, because I could go full guitar geek on you like you've never seen. Take up all day, but his process begins when the wood comes in the door and ends when the strings goes on, and he's involved in every single piece of that. So once we're done with the guitar, we send them out to all these wonderful dealers across the world. In the UK, we have a wonderful dealer called the North American Guitar. They're great partners, and we really love working with those guys, and hope to be sending them more and more guitars for people in the UK to experience for themselves and really see what the difference is that the woods can bring to each individual instrument. So thanks for stopping by.